Hi, this is Sue Jackson of the Book by Book blog, and I'm here with another Friday Reads. I just finished The Department of Rare Books and Special Collections by Eva Jersik for my book group, which met last night. This was very exciting because it's the first time I've been able to manage going to my book group in 8 months, since last May. So I was very excited to be back. That was just due to health problems. And so this was the book we discussed last night. Some people, like me, enjoyed it, but didn't think it was fabulous. That's how I felt about it. Good book, not great. Others really did not like it. So our ratings out of 10 covered the gamut from 2 all the way to 8. I personally gave it a 7. Like I said, I enjoyed it. It's about the Rare Books and Special Collections Department library of a large university in Toronto. And the woman who needs to step in and take over when her boss has a stroke and is hospitalized. So it's about the department and it's about rare books, but it's mostly about the people. Liesl, the main character, is the focus of the story. She is an older woman nearing retirement. She is really not looking to step into this leadership position at this point in her career. There's a lot in here about discrimination against women in academia, the way that things are controlled, much as they are in the corporate world, still by men. And so there's a lot of that. Another theme running through the book is that older women are invisible. And then there's a mystery at the heart of it about a rare manuscript that they've just purchased that the man who's in a coma supposedly put in his safe, and now the safe is empty and they don't know what happened to it. So it's Liesl's responsibility all of a sudden, but she has no control over the situation. So there's a mystery there. Like I said, I enjoyed it. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Not everyone enjoyed it as much, but we had a very good discussion last night. It did turn out to be a good book group book because there were a lot of different things to discuss here. So that's The Department of Rare Books and Special Collections by Eva Jersik. So my next book, which I just started last night, is The Good Earth by Pearl Buck. A very famous book, of course, a classic. I thought I like to get a classic in January. I always do a classics challenge on my blog. It's called Back to the Classics. I don't host it, I participate in it. And I usually aim for about 6 classics a year. Last year I read 7, so I wanted to get a good start on that. I think my husband gave this to me last year as a gift, and I've been dying to jump into it. So it's a very famous book, of course. It won the Pulitzer Prize in 1935, and then later, Pearl Buck also won the Nobel Prize for Literature. So I was curious why clearly an American was writing about China. You can probably tell from the cover, or you probably know, The Good Earth is set in China in the 1920s, before the revolution, when there was still an emperor. So I was interested in reading her bio on the back of the book that says she was born in Hillsborough, West Virginia in 1892, but spent much of her childhood in China. So I guess that's where she got her material and knew something about life in China. So I have only just started this at the very beginning. It's about a farmer named Wang Lung. He doesn't have much money. His elderly father lives with him. And in the very first chapters, the part that I read last night, he gets married to a local woman that was serving as a slave in what they call a great house, a home of wealthy individuals. So interesting already in terms of the history and the setting. And I'm really looking forward to reading more of The Good Earth. And finally, on audio, I am still listening to Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. Now, Barbara Kingsolver is one of my all-time favorite authors. Her books, The Poisonwood Bible and The Bean Trees, are at the top of my best books of all time list. Love both of those, and I've enjoyed some of her more recent novels as well. This may well be one of her best ever. I am just loving it. As you might be able to tell from the title, it's kind of a play on David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. I also love Dickens as an author. Just read David Copperfield for the first time 2 summers ago for my annual Big Book Summer Challenge. That one I do host, so you're welcome to join in once we get to the end of May. Really enjoyed David Copperfield. So like much of Dickens, David Copperfield is about a young boy. It's about poverty in England, of course. It's about an orphan child, kind of classic Dickens type things. And as always with Dickens, it's got a lot of wit and humor mixed in with some of the sad circumstances. And Barbara Kingsolver has done a wonderful job of kind of mimicking that style and tone in this modern day tale set in the US. So Demon, the title character, that's a nickname. His real name is Damon. He lives in the hills of Southern Virginia in Appalachia, in a very poor county. Like David Copperfield, he had a rough start in life. The very beginning of the novel, I think we're in the 90s when he's about 10 years old. His mother was a drug addict. She tried to get clean for him. She married an abusive man. And much of this mirrors the beginning of David Copperfield. So I won't give away any spoilers. I hate that. But it's an epic story of this one young man coming of age story as he's growing up under very poor conditions. He ends up in the foster care system. So it is Dickens only modern day. And so she gets into themes of poverty in America, because of the timing and the setting, the opioid crisis, addiction. And through it all, of course, the focus is just on this young boy who is trying his best to make a life for himself. As in David Copperfield, he is forced to grow up much too soon. So you don't have to have read David Copperfield to enjoy this novel. Kingsolver is an amazing storyteller, and this book it is completely engrossing and immersive. I mean, I just feel like I'm a part of this world. I am loving listening to it on audio. It is excellent on audio. I'll have to look up to see who the narrator is because he's doing a great job. If you have read David Copperfield, then it's almost like there are some Easter eggs in there for you. At times, I've kind of stopped and thought about where I am in the story and what was happening in David Copperfield. And it's very, very clever, some of the parallels she's drawn there. But again, that's just bonus material. It's not necessary to completely enjoy this wonderful, immersive coming-of-age story. So that's Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. So that's what I'm reading right now. I would love to hear what you're reading this weekend. Let me know in the comments down below, and take a moment to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already.